Welcome to Meridian. Get ready because today we're talking about a real high-stakes showdown. Saudi Arabia is launching, well, basically a financial shockwave. We're seeing billions in IPOs, a huge market surge. They're targeting global dominance. But here's the kicker. Is it a genuine open market, this new giant? Or is it more like a really powerful closed-loop system, a gilded cage? Today, we cut through the hype. Okay, let's get into it. Saudi Arabia, right, through this massive Vision 2030 plan, isn't just tweaking its stock exchange, the Tadawul. No, they are aggressively re-engineering it. It's a deliberate state-push effort. They want to rival global hubs like Hong Kong, like London. This is active, not passive. And they're flooding the market with IPOs, initial public offerings, a lot of them coming straight from their giant sovereign wealth fund, the PIF. Get this, over 50 applications under review. Companies worth more than $18.6 billion are expected to list by 2025. And look at 2024. Saudi Arabia totally led the Gulf region in IPOs. They raised $4.1 billion from 42 offerings. The Tadawul now makes up, what, a huge 62% of the market cap of all Arab exchanges combined? Staggering. And the performance after listing. You own a company's stock, it jumped 147% in its first month. I mean, quantitatively, that looks like pure success.
It looks like success, sure. The numbers are definitely big, I'll give you that. But we really have to ask how this market is actually built. Because this isn't really, organic growth from the ground up. It's very much a top-down strategy, driven by the state. And that raises a pretty fundamental question, doesn't it? Is the Tadawul evolving into a truly vibrant, transparent market? Or is it maybe more of a sophisticated closed loop? You mentioned the PIF, the Public Investment Fund. It's the main seller of assets in these IPOs.
Okay.
But state-linked entities, which make up nearly 64% of the whole market cap, are often the main buyers. So the state fund sells, state entities buy. That's what some call the PIF paradox. And it seriously clouds true price discovery, that natural market process of finding fair value.
Price discovery.
Exactly. And what about market concentration? The top 10 listed firms, think Saudi Aramco, Al Rajhi Bank, S&B, they account for 56% of the entire index weight. So their movements basically dictate the whole market. Makes it tough for new listings to get much attention, doesn't it?
Okay, concentration is a point.
Plus, these IPOs often seem underpriced. Why? To basically guarantee a successful debut pop, keep local retail investors happy. But for serious international institutions, that's a red flag. They want solid fundamentals, not just, sentiment-driven jumps.
But hang on, look at the infrastructure they're building. It's genuinely modern. Derivatives, securities lending, covered short selling, market-making frameworks. These are the tools of a sophisticated market, right? To help with liquidity and trading. And trading volumes for derivatives, they surged 152% just in Q2 2024. Isn't that progress?
The architecture is there, yes. It's impressive on paper. But the actual usage, still pretty minimal for a lot of it. It feels very much like a build it and they will come situation. We hope they'll come. Look at active fund managers, the big institutional investors. They're still noticeably underweight Saudi stocks. Why? Well, valuations often look high. There are still governance concerns. And let's be honest, geopolitical risk is always a factor in the region.
Okay, but risk is everywhere.
True. But foreign investor ownership tells a story. It's only about 11% of the free float the shares actually available for trading. Their target for 2025 was 44%. They're way off. That doesn't exactly scream fundamental validation from the outside world, does it?
But they are working on it. Just this past July, didn't they approve changes letting GCC citizens and residents invest directly, removing old barriers? That sounds like a practical step, an incremental way to build up that liquidity you're talking about. It shows they're listening, maybe.
It's a step, yes.
Yes.
Opening up regionally.
So where does this leave us? Regionally, you have to admit, the Tadawul is the heavyweight champion. No question. $2.7 trillion market cap. It just dwarfs the UAE exchanges that are around $1 trillion combined. And Tadawul's trading value, more than double. Riyadh is becoming the financial center of gravity for the whole Mainland region. You can't really ignore it.
Regional dominance, yes, I agree. It's achieved that. But the global ambition, that's a whole different league. To seriously challenge Hong Kong or Singapore, that means a deeply complex ecosystem, thousands of ETFs, structured products, super liquid derivatives markets. HKX trades, $15.4 billion a day on average? Singapore, over $1.1 billion. The Tadawul, $1.32 billion average daily value. It's big, but it's not in that global premier league yet. It's more a gateway to the Saudi economy, not necessarily the world's crossroads.
But the ambition is undeniable, and the resources behind it are just immense. Maybe this is just the very beginning of a long game backed by serious political will. Look, the Tadawul has absolutely exploded onto the scene. They've built this market of incredible scale really fast. It's a compelling story, pure ambition, raw power.
Well, it's definitely a powerful transformation, no doubt. But there are still critical structural hurdles, things we've discussed. Anyone watching needs to keep an eye on IPO pricing discipline. Are they realistic? And on broadening that secondary market liquidity. And crucially, the PIF's role. How does that evolve? That closed loop you mentioned, it is starting to open slowly. But, cautious international capital, but will likely wait for more fundamental shifts before really jumping in.
So here's something for you watching to think about. Can Riyadh actually pivot, go from the state-driven market creation to fostering real, independent, organic growth? Can they pull in that massive international capital they seem to want? Or will it stay this incredibly powerful but ultimately sort of limited gateway, mainly into Saudi Arabia itself, a kingdom's plaything, or a true global player? We definitely want to hear what you think. Let us know in the comments. Is the Tadawul changing the game? Please like and subscribe to Meridian if you found this interesting. Until next time, keep exploring.
If you want more no-nonsense stories about power, money, and the systems behind them, subscribe to Meridian channel.